Bet you didn't expect to see this headline float across your YouTube timeline today, Broncos fans. Welcome in country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and yes, it is true. Lil'Jordan Humphrey is back at Mile High. Adam Schefter breaking it down for us that the Broncos have signed him off of the Giants practice squad, which means he gets elevated to the Broncos 53-man roster and is expected to play this coming Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I bet you he just jumped at the opportunity to join the Broncos back. And Mike Kliss must have been like reading my mind because that's exactly what happened. I talked to agent Jimmy Gold of Lil'Jordan and said that he didn't even hesitate when George Paton called up and said, hey, you want to come back and be a Bronco? And he was like, yes. And then Lil'Jordan said it's very exciting to be going back home per his agent. So he's flying into Denver tonight and is expected to play against the Chiefs this Sunday. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm sure you're feeling the exact same way as I am. I did not see this coming. Does that mean I hate the move? Absolutely not. In fact, out of all of the moves you possibly could have made, this is probably one of the smartest ones, considering he already knows the playbook. He already knows what Sean Payton likes to do. And I believe, and I'll break it down in this episode, what this actually signifies for the Broncos wide receiver room and why one specific player is going to be elevated in the passing game. Now, before I do that, this is exactly why you subscribe. Every single time the Broncos go out and they make a move, I'm going to break it down just for you. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Big red one, it's completely free. Never, ever miss out on any Denver Broncos news. So like I said, Lil'Jordan comes back to Mile High. And again, this is a very, very smart move. Spent most of his 2025, actually all of his 2025, with the Giants floating between that active roster and the practice squad. He did get elevated to play against the Philadelphia Eagles and had an unbelievable game. Now, what do we know? Well, he's not super fast, right? He's not going to be that separation king when it comes to his game in 2025. It's just not going to be what he does. But what he does offer is very sure hands. He's a very willing and good blocker. And like I said, he knows the system. He's also really good in 50-50 balls. And let's just take it back to his time at Mile High. I mean, these aren't great numbers, but they're not awful. Like 34 games played, 44 receptions, so he's averaging a little over one reception a game. But remember, he's not that like possessions wide receiver. No one's expecting him to get all of the separation on this team. In fact, for what Sean Payton is known for, which is long, length, and speed. That's what Sean Payton likes in his wide receivers. He wants lengthy guys that are super speedy. Well, Lil'Jordan Humphrey doesn't really fit that mold, but he's not Lil. You know what I mean? It's kind of an oxymoron there because he's a big-bodied boy. He's going to be the enforcer of this wide receiver room again. And like I told you, I think this signifies a move for the Denver Broncos. But I also did say they needed a wide receiver, so definitely this qualifies. This definitely qualifies as going out and getting a wide receiver. I didn't see it coming, but it does make a bit of sense. So if you take a look now at the wide receiver depth chart, you're getting Marvin Mims Jr. back. That's great. Courtland Sutton, I want to see him more involved in this game plan against the Chiefs. And Troy Franklin, obviously, we know where he stands in this wide receiver room. His connection continues to grow with Bo Nix. And before we break down that other fourth guy, little foreshadowing there for you, let's go back to the Lil'Jordan facts for a second. Like I told you, he's great with 50-50 balls. He's got the history with the Broncos. He knows the playbook, and he's a great blocking wide receiver. He's also got some very nice hands. I don't hate this move whatsoever. I think this is a very smart move by Sean Payton. I think it's a safe and smart, calculated move, considering now with all of the recent news surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs coming to town and all of the negative press that the Broncos have been getting from guys like Nick Wrong and then ESPN as well as also taking shots at Bo Nix. I think going out and getting a player that already knows what you're trying to accomplish and what you do from a schematic standpoint is one of the best moves you could have made. So do me a favor, grade the Lil'Jordan Humphrey signing. I think it's a B signing, B+ signing. There's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. I can't give it an A because I don't think he's going to be a game breaker. I don't think this is going to be a guy that goes out and gets you 7 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. But what it does offer you is an extra blocker. It offers another body on that wide receiver line. And most importantly, as I have been saying multiple times throughout this episode, it allows one other player to get into the passing game. And we're going to tell you who that is coming up here in just a little bit. Before I do that, got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So do yourself a favor. Go download the Prize Picks app today and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the most money possible, go for the Power Play. No matter what your play is, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the ultimate test. I made a lineup for Thursday night football. Breece Hall less because the Patriots' run defense is really, really good. I also stacked it up in the new stack feature with Drake May, more on the 1.5 passing touchdowns and passing yards. Yours can look just like this. Doesn't have to. All you got to do is download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. So Lil'Jordan's not picking up that playbook. At least he shouldn't very often. I mean, let me rephrase. He doesn't have to go out and relearn another offensive system. He already knows what Sean Payton expects of him. But again, in 2025, he has not been a player that has been a game breaker or one of those, ideal candidates for comeback player of the year. That's not what his role is going to be on this team either. But the Broncos also are very aware of the issues, right? They've worked out wide receivers. They've made calls about Jalen Waddle. It's clear that Sean and George, while they might save face when it comes to the media, also know we need the weapons. We're 8-2. We're at the top of the AFC, or at least one of the top teams in the AFC. Time's a ticking. We got to figure out the offense. And I think this means they want to get Pat Bryant more involved. Think about it. Who's been your ultimate blocking wide receiver this year? Pat Bryant. What is one thing you want to see Pat Bryant do more? Something that we've been clamoring for on the channel. Get him more involved in the passing game. I think this is the move. I think this is what Sean Payton's saying. Okay, Pat, we're going to take away some of those blocking responsibilities now that we've signed our blocking wide receiver. Trent Sherfield isn't nearly as good of a blocker as Lil'Jordan Humphrey. So Pat Bryant comes in and starts playing a little bit more like Michael Thomas, who a lot of people have compared him to. 10 receptions only on the year for 149 yards and a tutty. We think he's more talented than what his productivity has indicated. So now the time is Pat Bryant's to shine. It's now his time to get out there and get the 6 or 7 targets. Really show what you can do in the short yardage situation and over the middle of the field. And that's an area that Bo Nix needs to start attacking more, because if you're going to go up against the high-powered Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to have to chunk the ball down the field. No more of this, we're going to throw the ball 5 yards or a screen pass or a bubble screen at the line of scrimmage. And plus, now with J.K. Dobbins' injury and him being up in the air, you need all the weapons you can get. So, Lil'Jordan, welcome back, my friend, after spending some time on the New York Giants practice squad. And again, a player that I'm very, very happy to see return back home. I know he wanted to be a Denver Bronco once again, as evidenced by what Mike Kliss had to say. But now we focus on the playoffs. Current playoff picture in the AFC. Colts at 1, Broncos at 2, Patriots at 3, and Steelers at 4. But notice something. That wild card, a lot of bunches right there. And you definitely want home field advantage if you're a Denver Bronco fan. Home field advantage is clutch in the playoffs. And believe it or not, the rest of the Broncos' schedule, it's the hardest it's been all year. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily hard, because the rest of the season you're at about 500. So it's about as even as it could possibly get. The New England Patriots, I know there's a lot of people out there calling Drake May the MVP. And he might be playing really well, but there's no doubt about it. He's played cupcakes all season long. Definitely has. And the Indianapolis Colts, they're about as efficient as it gets. What do these two teams have in common, though? really efficient offense. Really efficient offense. Broncos, not so efficient offense. Amazing defense, best defense in the league, but got to fix that offense. And it all starts. This season starts now, and I'm fired the F up for it. So much so that I'm getting my FKC going right now on this episode. So if you're a Broncos fan that has made it to the very end of this episode, do me a favor, get your FKC going in the chat. Tell me how you feel about Lil'Jordan Humphrey by grading that signing. And Broncos country, subscribe to the channel. Like today's video. Mile high salute. Be cool.